Tomodachi Life. This game can either become your personality or you're absolutely going to hate it. Why? Because this is not Animal Crossing. This is not The Sims. And if you go into Tomodachi Life expecting either of these, I hate to break it to you, but you're gonna end up really disappointed. Tomodachi Life is unhinged, full of chaos, and even though the sequel gives you more control than what you had in the 3DS version, there's still so much unexpected shenanigans that can happen where your Miis can fall in love, get rejected, start drama, ask you random questions, and then they're gonna act like nothing happened 5 minutes later. But here's where it can be a little bit similar to Animal Crossing. It's in the fact that you have to log in daily to make the best out of your Tomodachi Life experience. So with the pre-orders out already, is this the game for you? I've been dissecting the trailers, so I want to share with you everything that you need to know to decide if this is the game for you. Squish the like and subscribe buttons because I will be streaming the game. I will be doing a full before you buy for it, so make sure that you're around because I will also let you know when we have the full game if it's worth your cash or not. So I'm gonna focus mostly on the "this is an ugly Animal Crossing" clone that I'm seeing a lot of online, and it's also a lot from people who have no idea what this game is about, and I gotta say, this is so far from the truth. Sure, there are similarities with Animal Crossing, so for example, as I said, you'll get the most out of this game if you check in daily. And this new entry on the Switch gives you a bit more control on some aspects and shenanigans that will unfold, because we can now force our Miis to interact with each other or to interact with different objects that we've set up for them in the world. They'll also ask you things like, oh, what should I talk about with person X? Or what expression would you like me to use? I said before I'm gonna do a Mii for Todd Howard, and his expression will be 16 times the detail.
16 times the detail.
And yeah, sure, the latter option is similar to how you can have villagers in Animal Crossing use another nickname for you, for example. But here's the main difference. In Tomodachi Life, you do not control that much in the game. For example, unlike Animal Crossing, where you directly play as your human character, you're gonna walk them around with your Joy-Con stick and shape everything around you. In Tomodachi Life, you let everyone do their thing. You're not controlling one main character. You can't even use your controller to move someone like you move your human character in Animal Crossing. Instead, you're watching a bunch of personalities just live in their lives, and there's gonna be events that will unfold into pretty much unhinged chaos. So even with the added features in the Switch version of Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, that lets you take a bit more control when it comes to your Miis still have their own feelings, their own quirks, their relationships, their likes and dislikes, and again, there is no one main character that you're controlling. This is why when we were watching the Tomodachi Life Direct, and by the way, thank you so much because y'all have been hanging out with me in these streams and we've been having a blast, but I saw a few comments saying like, oh my god, this looks so boring, it's like a snooze fest, and I gotta say, like, yeah, sure, I hear it. This game can be extremely boring if you don't understand what makes it special, and this game is not gonna be the one for everyone. It's very specific with the target audience that it has. Every playthrough is so different because at the end of the day, you create your own Mii and how they look like, but then it's pretty limited with what you can and can't control. Logging in daily, even at multiple points in the day, will let you see different events that transpire, and this is such a crucial point that you need to know because I see so many of you so confused about the game, especially now with the Nintendo Switch. We have a whole new generation that is playing Nintendo games, so a lot of y'all probably never played the 3DS version. With that out of the way, let's take a look at what we know so far about the Switch version of Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream. And apparently the direct that we watched here on the channel is different from the directs that were hosted in different regions around the world, which is pretty cool because it means we can get to see a little bit more that we didn't see in our own direct. So in the US, UK, and Japan, we got to see different room types, customization options, island layouts, and more. But it's pretty safe to say that we know Nintendo, we know how they play their games. Usually they will not tell us everything that's gonna be in a game, and I feel like that's pretty cool because, you know, there's a bit of elements of surprise. Like, I don't want to walk into a game already knowing everything that I'm gonna have in the game, but I know a lot of y'all are worried about the concert hall, so I don't know, are they hiding it? Are they not? Who knows? Time will tell. So when you begin, you're going to have a pretty empty island, so you're gonna create your first Mii. We can see that right off the bat we have a few options. like getting help with the customization, starting from scratch, creating a me based on a me in our system, or creating a me based on an existing island me. If you've never heard of me's before, these are digital avatars that we create when playing Nintendo games, and they were used a lot during the Wii and 3DS era. Do we have any like Wii and 3DS community bubbly members in here? Let me know. So here you can customize your avatar, your me, and choose from a wide variety of, let's start with hairstyles. We're talking choosing what the overall hair looks like, but also the bangs, the back of your hair, along with the main color and subcolors. Then we get to your face shape, brows, eyes, nose, or even no nose, mouth or no mouth, ears, and with these, you also have a wide range of even deeper levels of customization. For example, with the eyes, you can choose the eye shape, how the upper and lower lashes look, how the eyelid looks, how far or close the eyes are gonna be. You can change their size, so the possibilities are endless. Plus, we have makeup, glasses, your me's height, even skin tones have a wide range of options. So you can go with either the pre-made colors or you can use the palette, which is gonna give you even more control. So we're getting a lot of customization options in the sequel. We had a lot in the 3DS version, but they're kicking it up a notch with the Switch version. And you're gonna notice that your me's don't have to look like a human. In the direct, we saw that one of them is literally one of the me's childhood teddy bear. So you're gonna be able to let your imagination run wild with the characters. Not to say that the 3DS version was limited because y'all had some crazy me's in there, but this one is even taking it further. So if you want to make an island that's inspired by Witcher or Pokemon or Animal Crossing, you name it, pretty much the world is your oyster. But I've got to say the craziest part is that these me's can actually talk and you choose how you want them to sound. You can change their tone of voice, how they deliver their words, the depth of their voice, as well as the pitch and speed they talk at. Or you can go for a simpler version and just choose one that's already made if you don't really care about diving too deep into this sort of customization. Hearing them speak to you and being needy while requesting things from you is funny enough. Part of the experience is gonna get weird, funny, quirky, and all in between all the time. You're just gonna be like, this game is cursed, bro. You can also choose if your me is going to be a male, female, non-binary, or all of the above. On top of that, you can draw on your me's and you have a variety of options to use, like choosing different colors, adding texts and stamps, as well as choosing a variety of shapes. There's also a paint, erase, as well as pen tools, and a bunch more. So be honest with me, who's gonna be spending ages creating their me's? It's just me, because I know y'all are very creative. I cannot wait to see what everyone is going to do, but we gotta talk about that sharing feature soon. Anyways, of course, your me's need a home to live in. So you can either get them their own house, which is usually a room, and you can purchase a wide variety of room types, or you can have them live in an apartment. And with that, it looks like in the apartment, we can have up to 8 characters. And then we see what I assume to be a ground floor. This is either a hub for everyone to gather in, or it might be that this bottom floor may also act as one of the big rooms where 2 me's can live in. So that would mean a total of 10 living in the apartment. And if you've never seen the rooms are wild. You're gonna see that you have your me's living in a football field, a library, a witch-inspired room, a forest, heck, even an insane room with a UFO and floating cows, even a circus. So when I tell you this game doesn't take itself too seriously at all, trust me, this game is just quirky and weird and it makes no sense, but it's so fun and we love it for it. Now, many of you have been concerned about the relationships that me's can get into. We would love, a lot of us, to actually have a family tree just so that, you know, we don't have any weird relationships going on. But also, let me walk you through some of the stuff that we already know is going to be in this game. So when the game starts and your me's begin to socialize with each other, they're gonna start off as strangers. And then they can slowly grow closer, or they might even start to hate each other. And for those of you who have been asking, I can confirm that they can get married and have babies just like the 3DS version, and they can also move in together. The trailers show that you can help a me decide what hobby they can share with another me, for example, when they move in together, so they have something to talk about. So there is a tiny bit of control, but at the end of the day, your me's will do what they want to do. If they hate someone, if they love someone, you cannot change that. That's simply how they feel, and we gotta live with it. Now, as I mentioned in the sequel, you can play a role in introducing some me's to each other, because we saw in the trailers that you can pick a me up and place them right next to someone, and then they're gonna initiate contact. Me's can also suggest suggests to you that, hey, I feel like these two characters would get along, so you can help introduce them as well. With the first way, we saw in the trailer one Mii being picked up and being placed next to another, and we're prompted to choose a topic that they can talk about as a way to start the conversation. But we also in the end noticed that even though these two characters, Hugh Morris and whatever the teacher's name was, didn't really have much in common, the teacher ended up falling in love with Hugh Morris, and Hugh Morris shared the same feelings. So yeah, if you watch the trailer, you can see that things can go insane. If the Miis don't have things in common, that might impact their relationship in a bad way, or maybe sometimes they don't care and they're still going to fall in love. And as you see, there is no guarantee that the other Mii will share the same feelings. If anything, they can end up not only in just a love triangle, but also a love square, and the Miis will get their hearts broken. But here's a fun thing, the way that they bounce back from being heartbroken is dependent on their personality, and Angie did it best. The best way to get over someone is to get under someone. Was that the saying? I don't know.
What do you mean by that?
So when they created Angie in the trailer, you can see that you control their movement from slow to quick. You can control their speech between polite and honest, their energy between flat and varied, their thinking from serious to chill, and overall whether they act normal or act quirky. Once decided, we see a new page pop up saying that Angie is outgoing. At a glance, they are sociable, they are optimistic, passionate, and follow their instincts. They're also a charmer, meaning that they're radiant. Their effortless style is admired by all, and they easily adapt to new situations, which again explains how they went from being in love with Patrick, being heartbroken by Patrick, then being clowned on by Hugh Morris, because Hugh Morris had 3 Miis in love with him, and despite being sad, Angie ends up moving in with their childhood plushie. Do you see that? Absolute chaos, but also Angie's personality was like, you know what, out with the old, in with the new, let's move on. We also have these quirks that have been added, like this alien that we see hovering instead of walking. Some of your Miis may walk while slouching, they have different ways that they eat their food, so this adds a variety of how they act, react, and interact. Miis also have different hobbies, just like Jess loves taking photos, Patrick loves playing his guitar, Mocha is using what looks like a lightsaber, Hugh Morris, whose hobby is to tell jokes and be an absolute clown, along with clowning on Angie's feelings.
Emotional, damn it!
But keep in mind though, you are still responsible for your Mii's happiness, and they will have requests for you, so you're gonna have to kind of help them with whatever they're asking you for. And the trailer shows us a bit about their happiness bar and how they seem to gain quirks because of it. In the 3DS version, you can unlock the concert hall by having your Miis level up and sing songs about different things. So I'm very curious to see how their happiness will be introduced into the gameplay in this entry. This time around, you also create pets for your Miis. So in the trailer, we see Crystal get a little puppy that you can actually draw, and it's safe to assume that you can let your creativity go loose. I saw someone talk about Pokemon and how they would love to have an island full of Miis that look like Pokemon, which that one sounds cute, but then in the stream, y'all were unhinged because some of y'all want to be drawing
Penis.
which we're gonna talk more about later in the video. Not the
Yes.
but something related to the
Penis.
There's also added island customization, which is new here. You can add different objects for your Miis to interact with. So we see some Miis dancing, some are doing yoga together, some are having food together, there's a vending machine as well. So yeah, let's circle now back to the
Penis.
So one thing that received a lot of controversy is the fact that this game will not have online functionality, which is very sad to see considering how creative the community is. Being able to import Miis from other people using their codes, for example, or downloading patterns like you can in Animal Crossing would have been great, but here's what Nintendo had to say about this. Nintendo aims to create experiences where players have the freedom to enjoy their Mii characters in their own way. In Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, this freedom can sometimes lead to humorous, surprising, or unpredictable moments during gameplay. While these moments are often fun for players, we recognize that out-of-context scenes may be misunderstood or may not reflect the spirit in which the game is intended to be enjoyed. Nintendo is committed to creating experiences that are welcoming and enjoyable for everyone. To support this commitment and in consideration of the unique gameplay in Tomodachi Life Living the Dream, we have decided to place restrictions on certain image sharing features. These limits help to make the world players players create in Tomodachi Life living the dream remain fun and safe, and that the game can be enjoyed comfortably by all players. We understand that some players may find these restrictions limiting, however, they reflect Nintendo's ongoing philosophy of creating experiences that bring smiles to everyone who plays. On the one hand, like, I understand where they're coming from. I mean, again, y'all were saying in my stream you want to do like pine trees and all of that. But on the other hand, it also feels very unfair that we're kind of like all of us are getting punished because some people are gonna be unhinged. But also it's like, why is this allowed in Animal Crossing, but now it's an exception in Tomodachi Life? I really hope they reconsider this because this is such a missed opportunity. Not that I want any pine trees or diabolical animals in my game, but I would love to be able to share patterns with others. Like, I am not creative, and I know a lot of y'all are also not creative like me, so we love being able to get patterns from other people. But for now, they have opted to use local communication to share the Miis and items we create with our friends. And I find this really funny. A lot of people have been commenting on Reddit like, here comes the videos with like a shaky camera where someone is giving us a tutorial of how to create X me and Y me, you know, that looks like someone. Yeah, I could see that coming. Oh, and correct me if I'm wrong, but also, based on my understanding, this also means that we won't be able to download and share videos that we've captured from our experiences with the game, which again makes no sense. So we can unlock a bunch of shops that are gonna open up, and in this game your Miis will look for a job just like they did in the 3DS. So these two things will synergize, which I love to see, because when you go to a shop you can see one of your Miis working there if it happens to be their shift. So far we know that the following shops are going to be here. We've got the Fresh Kingdom where you can get food, so this is your food mart. We've got the Wear and Wear, this is where you can buy clothes and costumes. We've got the News Station. This is where you're gonna be up to date over what's happening in the game. If you've never played this game before, sometimes when you log in, you get this like news segment that plays, and it's just very funny, it's very silly, but it's just more stuff that you enjoy and kind of be like, okay, this is what my Miis have been getting up to. We've got the marketplace. This is where you can buy mystery goods, and they're gonna change based on the time of day. So for example, we see here, we got a lion, and you can choose if you want to accept or dismiss it. We've got the palette house where you can do your customizations, designs, drawing, all of that. You've got your Phototomo, which is a photo studio, and you've got your TNC Reno, or like renovation, I guess. This is where you can buy room interiors, and we've got the quick build, which is for decorating your island, buying stuff, and all of that jazz. And this ties perfectly into, if you love decorating, you're gonna love this. This game is going to add build options, which we didn't really have this flexibility in the 3DS version. You can terraform the island, you can choose where the shops and houses are going to be. You can use things like fences, sprinklers, beach lounge chairs, umbrellas, fire pits, trees, bushes, flowers, palm trees, and different terrain patterns. You can add vending machines, park tables, and even customize the outside of some buildings. You can rotate your items, and I like that we can use the undo action because it can be annoying to place things down and just have to remove them. So having a quick click of a button makes the experience more seamless. I also saw that you can reset everything if you want to, so these two are really good quality of life features. You can also move your Mii's houses around, and you have an option to choose between single and batch move when you're moving things around. There's also a different camera mode setting depending on what you're doing, so you can switch between a top-down view and a more forward-facing option. So if you like to create a dystopian town, you can. If you want to make a town that looks like clouds and cotton candy, you can. But it doesn't look like we can customize the inside of the homes. I checked my 3DS save file, like I haven't played this game for a really long time, and you couldn't do that in that game either. So it would be a nice bonus if we can add a little bit of customization here, but if not, it's not a big deal. I feel like we already have so much customization on the outside, so I'm okay with that. And you're probably wondering about seasons because we had that in the 3DS version. So something intrigued me is that in the trailers, you see this island here, and you notice all of the seasons are implemented in different sections of the island. So I'm a bit confused. Is there seasons, or yeah, how are seasons going to be in this game? I have no idea. So when can you buy the game? Where can you buy it? All of that jazz. The game is releasing on April 16, which is pretty soon, and it's coming to both Switch 1 and Switch 2. So unlike Pokopia, which is coming only to Switch 2, this one is coming to both. And there doesn't seem to be any differences between the two editions, which is a little bit weird because I would expect the Switch 2 to get the same treatment other games are getting, which is, you know, like upgrading the graphics or having the ability to use mouse controls and all of that. And I have a question, am I the only one that is always confused as to why, especially like with Nintendo developers, you have a touch screen, why are we not using it? Like this makes so much sense in Tomodachi Life, even Animal Crossing. Like why are we not using the touch screen to its full potential? Anyways, pre-orders are up and I'm really happy to see that the game looks to be fully on the cartridge. Like I don't see a game keycard here, unlike Pokopia. By the way, if you're interested in Pokopia, I already have a video out talking about all you need to know before you decide if you want to pre-order it. But yeah, it was a nice surprise to see that the game is gonna be fully on the game card. If you don't know, a game key card means that even though you have the cartridge, the game is not gonna be on it. You still have to download it digitally. So yeah, Tomodachi Life, you have the game on the card. This is really good news. I'm over the moon excited for Tomodachi Life. It was really a good surprise to see because it felt for the longest time like they've forgotten about us. Well, they haven't. Sure, I'm sad about the online features and whatnot, but I feel like the positives far outweigh the negatives. So let me know which Miis are you going to be making. Have you decided what kind of island you're gonna run? Check the comments. I read all of the comments, so I love to talk to you about this. Thank you to my YouTube and Patreon bubblies who make videos like this possible, and a shout out goes to The Game Dimension, Stella, Yugoslav, and Emmy for going the extra mile. Until next time, stay bubbly.